Today, I want to talk about popularity. Now, I've done a few videos on this because back to school is coming, and let's face it, even if it's not back to school time, who doesn't want to be popular? And popularity isn't even something that has to do necessarily with being in school. We want to be popular as adults. We want to be popular as kids. We want to be popular in college. It's a human need. Humans are pack animals, and we have a very high social inclusion need, as they call it. So your desire to be popular and sort of reinvent yourself or elevate yourself socially is like hardwired into you as a person. So today, we're going to follow up on some videos I've done, which is like something all popular people know to be true and all popular girls do, how to reinvent yourself, how to leave behind a bad reputation, and now today I want to talk about breaking into the popular group at school. But before I do, I just want to remind you guys that if you have any questions of your own, if you want to talk a little bit more in depth, make it a little personal, please find me on the Instant Go app. That's where I'm answering all questions. My username is ShallonXO, and you click the chat feature, and I get back to you in a day, and it's super fun. If you can't access Instant Go, it's not available in every single country just yet. Please leave your question here right on this video as a comment for the best chance of it getting answered, okay? Please just no DMs, like I'm all DM'd out. It's hot in here. Yeah, it's getting hot in here, guys. You know what? We're talking about popularity. We're getting the blood going. Okay. So how do you break into the popular group? I can tell you from experience because when I went into high school, I felt very much like an outsider. Now, I've lived in my hometown. I'm from Irvine, California. My whole life I'd lived there, and I went to the same school from kindergarten through 8th grade. However, most of those kids didn't go to the high school I went to. Everyone kind of scattered. And those of us who did go from Vista Verde to University High, we were, how do I say this politely, super nerds. Our school was called Vista Nerdy. Like, we had an uphill battle in terms of becoming popular because not only were we considered like geeks from the geek school, we were trying to break into a social structure that was very already set. The people who were at my high school had known each other since like 2nd grade. Like, these are very insular groups. They weren't taking a lot of outsiders. You know, they had their clique, they had their hierarchy, and that was that. But I made it my mission. I literally remember the day. I was a freshman and I was like, I'm going to be popular. I'm going to do this. And I set my mind and I set my intention and I set about moving parts of my life around to enable me to reach this goal. The first thing you want to do, if you want to break into the popular group, is identify why. And I know that seems obvious, like, because I want to be popular. Okay, right. But what I wish I had asked myself more when I was younger is like, what does this goal mean to me? What does it satisfy within me? Like, why do I want to date the captain of the soccer team? Why do I want to be popular? Why do I want to be in Kaylee's limo at prom? Like, what does that mean to me? And like, yes, it means like I belong and I'm social and I'm popular and like I'm cool. But I wish I'd gone just like one level deeper. Like, okay, but what does that mean? What does being cool mean to me? And 99% of you guys, myself included, are going to come to the conclusion that all of these things mean you're okay. You're worthy, you're normal, you're having the typical teenage experience, you're maximizing your time as a teenager, you're living these best years of your life. Your teen years are not the best years of your life. Okay. And for people who are, we have a whole separate term for them. We call them peak 17s. There's also peak 22s. I don't know if you've seen the meme. It was like, congratulations on being the most popular person in your high school. Sorry about the rest of your life. Because that's kind of as good as it's going to get. And that sucks. Because being popular as an adult is amazing. It's infinitely better. It's so much cooler. Like, so much cooler to be popular as an adult. And yes, popularity as an adult exists for sure. Just because you're not like being voted on for prom queen doesn't mean that there's like no social structure. There definitely is, and it's so much doper. But I digress. So what we're all after when we're teenagers is, again, that social inclusion. So to be popular is a very easy way to check that box. It's like, who can argue with this? On paper, I was prom queen, I was in so-and-so's limo, I dated this person. That equals popularity. I feel good about myself. And looking back, yes, it was satisfying to reach that goal because I was popular. I did end up very popular. But I wish I'd gotten more in touch with like worthiness on my own and done things to create that worthiness that didn't have to do with other people, that didn't depend on who was my date, that didn't depend on if I was JV or varsity or if I got elected to student council. You know, things that like I was able to build self-esteem on my own. I'm going to do a whole separate video on this, by the way, on how to build self-esteem, how to be confident, and how to get in touch with the real you. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, 8th Grade. I am shook because there's so much to touch on there. So stick with me. But in the meantime, let's just say you are very in touch with yourself. And even if not, you want to be popular. Totally get it. Totally on board with this. Okay. So I want you to first assess your skills. What is it you're good at? What is it you're passionate about? As I've said in other videos, popular people have a specialty. If you look at popular adults, those are celebrities. Celebrities are good at something specific. That's why they're famous. They're the best snowboarder. They're the best actress. They're really hot. They do that, like they do something. And that's always been the criticism of the Kardashians when they first came out. It's like, they're famous for nothing. Because we as society understand that to be famous, you gotta be good at something. Same thing in high school. And unfortunately, sometimes that something that you're good at is you have big boobs, or your dad's the richest guy in town, or you have a lake house that everyone likes to go to. That's unfortunate. It's going to be easier for you to be popular if you have those things at play, you know, those like outside factors. But that doesn't create lasting popularity, and it doesn't create the adoration, you know? So if you can't do those things, if you don't have those things, I mean, who does? You have to find out what you're good at. So take a personal inventory. Are you really good at piano? Are you really like social and outgoing that you could run for office? Are you good at track that you could, you know, try out for the JV team or something like that? Take an inventory of your skills. And maybe you don't have like these particular things like piano and track or whatever. Take an inventory of your personal skills and see how you can apply that to social situations. Ask people who know you. Ask your parents. Ask your older sister. Ask your friends. Which leads me to point number 2. Take an inventory of your friends. There was a very, very disparate reaction when I made it clear to my like middle school friends that I wanted to be popular in high school. Very few of them were supportive of this. And I think that was a fear-based decision on their part. You know, they didn't want to get left behind, and they didn't appreciate me essentially in so many words saying, hey, you guys aren't good enough. I want to ascend to a level higher than you, you know? And that's valid. No one wants to hear that. So you need to take an inventory of your friends and find out who is holding you back out of spite and fear, because that can be what it is, and who is saying, you know what, let's just assess why you want to do these things. You know, who's encouraging you to do a little bit of introspection. I also want you to assess your friends because I want you to take stock of how good of a friend they've been to you. Because my guess is all the girls in your life right now have been really good friends to you. The saddest thing in the world would be to cut these people out, ascend to this popularity, and be, as I say, rich and sad. You technically have what you want, but there's that emptiness, you know, because you don't have those authentic friendships. Like I said, I became very popular. Am I good friends with any one of those people now? No. I'm still best friends with my middle school friends. And those other high school friendships that I cultivated that had nothing to do with popularity. We became friends because we vibed together and they're amazing and I still love them and I still talk to them. The popular people serve their purpose. I was on the prom court. I was vice president. I did all of those things. And I had that great high school Archie Comics Riverdale experience, you know, minus like the murder and things like that. But after that, it's like, they weren't the people that I called when I was upset. They still aren't, you know, they're not the people who are going to be at my wedding, my next wedding. Like, these are not your soul sisters. Chances are the people who are in your life right now are your soul sisters. So what you need to do is make it very clear to those souls, this isn't an either or. I'm not swapping you out. I want us to do this together. Or like, I want something different socially. That is not a criticism of you and our friendship. It's not because you don't give me what you need. It's because, and say, like, I have this insecurity and I want to like do these things. And I know that sounds bougie and I know it sounds stupid that I want to like, you know, go to prom with these people and be at spirit night with them. But I do. And I am bougie and I am stupid and I'm sorry, but this is just who I am. This is what I want. It's not you. And then you need to definitely make sure you make time for those soul sisters. Keep those 5 p.m. Friday night coffee dates. Keep those mani-pedis once a week. Keep those slumber parties. Because girl, I will tell you what, if you roll the dice on being popular and it doesn't work out, or you're popular for a little while and then, hey, the winds change and suddenly you're the odd woman out, your friends aren't going to take you back. You know how I know this? Because so many questions I get from you guys are from their point of view. Like, well, Hannah got a boyfriend and suddenly ditched me, and now they broke up and she's come crawling back like nothing happened. What should I do? I was like, fuck her. That's what you do. You don't talk to her. She made her choices. You choose your behavior. You choose your consequences. People don't owe you second chances, especially when you hurt them, when you hurt their feelings. So take a very good hard look at the people who are in your life, the people who are elastic to you changing and ascending to something different, and the people who aren't. Because like I said, my friends who weren't supportive of this, I don't speak to them anymore. I, as an individual, am allowed to grow and to change, and I don't need their endorsement to do it. If they don't like it, that's not what they're into, fine. Maybe this is where we part ways. But the friends of mine who were elastic, they're still in my life. We're still in each other's life because we both changed. We changed, we grew apart and grew together and came back again. Now, point number 3. This is my most important point. In order to break into the popular clique, it's tempting to think like, I'm going to try to make friends with the Regina George. No. Regina George doesn't need your friendship. She's the queen bee. The queen doesn't need any more advisors. And if she does pick you, that's almost not a good thing. Because you don't want to run the risk of being like another minion. You want to make friends with Gretchen Wieners, okay? You want to pick a more peripheral person in that clique and befriend them. Common interests, a class you have together, a boy you both obsess over, a concert you might be at together. Start small. Friendships, like any kind of relationship, is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a crock pot. It's not a microwave. It's small, it's consistent, and it escalates, If she sits next to you in math class, don't be like, Gretchen, do you want to sleep over tonight? That's weird. You don't know each other. Start small. Build into it. And as hard as this is, because this is the truly hard part, you have to conceal your motives. You can't be like, hey, I want to be popular like you. I want to hang out with Regina George. That's off-putting and weird. You have to genuinely like this person for her and genuinely be friends with her for her. People can smell a rat. People know consciously or unconsciously when they're being used and they don't appreciate it. And that is if you get that reputation as the desperate girl who wants to be popular, there's kind of no coming back from that, So you need to adopt the attitude of like, hey, we're friends, we're equals. First and foremost, we are equals, me and Gretchen, and we're going to cultivate a friendship that's authentic. We don't have to be BFFs, but I have to know her enough that I can invite her to things, which brings me to point number 4, and she can invite me to things. Point number 4 is invite people to shit. If at all possible, host activities, do things, be involved with stuff that other people can get involved with too. You don't have to throw the rager at your house. You don't have to live in the big mansion or whatever and throw the dopest party of the year. In fact, that's going to work against you popularity wise because people are going to see you as just that party girl, where it's and people are going to take advantage of you. That's not real respect, and that will absolutely never translate to popularity. It's people are using you and therefore they don't respect you and value you. That's not good. So invite people to things. If you guys are in French class together, talk to Gretchen Wieners, talk to some other people in your little pod and be like, hey, do you guys want to go see this weird French foreign film I saw down at the Independent Theater? Let's get a million snacks. We will go try our best not to read the subtitles. And then after, see if we understand what the plot is, because that will establish you as a leader. And that will do so much for your popularity because that will hint that you are confident, that you are independent, and that you have a backbone, and that you bring something to the table. No one wants to add someone to their group who's doesn't do anything or bring anything. We as humans are followers. We're pack animals. So when someone is a leader, that's very magnetic to us. We love an alpha wolf. That's why Gretchen Wieners has her Regina George. So you can be Regina 2.0. And that will also make her think that you independently are popular. She doesn't know your history. She doesn't know where you come from, you know? And if she does, like, who cares? People are always willing. We as Americans, we love a comeback story. We love a reinvention. We love a do-over. So try to think of ways you can get her involved in other things, bring in other people, and then she's going to be like, oh yeah, Regina's having a party this weekend. Do you want to come? Or like, fine, get in, loser. We're going shopping. That's going to help. So I want to know what you guys have to say about this. Let's go over the points first, okay? Number one, take an inventory of why you want to be popular and what you bring to the table, what your friends might have to say about this, and who you'd be willing to lose. Hopefully it's not that many people. And moreover, pick somebody kind of on the periphery of this friend group. That's going to be a lot easier to break it. My last point, though, goes back to one of the other ones. Do not give up your current friends. Don't do that. Not only because, like, down the line you might want them back, there's nothing less cool than someone with nothing better to do. You know what I mean? Again, it's that desperation. You don't want that. It's okay to say no. That's good. If someone's like, hey, do you guys want to go to the mall? If you can't go, be like, oh, I can't. But hey, do you want to do something Friday? Popular people are popular. Not just to Regina George. You got your own shit to do. You got other clicks. You are a wanted woman. Think about celebrities. The hottest celebrities don't show up to anything. When was the last time you heard Beyonce give an interview? Very rarely. Very rarely. But yet you have people like Courtney Stodden who would go to anything. Do you know what I mean? These aren't people who are considered popular. It's a supply and demand issue. You gotta like be a little bit scarce, have a little bit of mystery, and have your own shit going on, because that makes people curious about you. And curiosity is going to get you really far. Okay? Like I said, I want to know your guys' questions about this. I'll do some more videos. And if you want to talk a little bit more privately, find me on the Instant Go app and click chat. And if you don't have Instant Go, please leave your question right here in the comment section of this video. All right, Shalloners, I'll see you later.